did you tweet the following, quote, honestly, the biggest long-term political problem the Democrats have is that they don't know how to talk to low-information morons, close quote.
I don't believe those are my words, Senator. I'd have to be able to see them if you would share that with me.
Yeah, here it is, big as Dallas.
I don't believe those are my words, Senator.
You tweeted them.
I don't believe that I did.
Yes, you did.
I may have liked someone else's tweet or retweeted someone else's tweet.
Do you
Those
often
are not my words.
like tweets you don't agree with?
Those are not my words, Senator.
Yeah, but you tweeted them in approval, didn't you? You
Those
can't make this cat walk backwards, Professor.
Those are
On
not
July 16th,
those are not my words, Senator.
2024, did you tweet the following, quote, a big part of modern right-wing culture is this frisson of the illicit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Red, Blue, and You. Today we're diving into a fiery exchange between Senator John Kennedy and Professor Dr. Keyes during a heated budget hearing. Kennedy pressed Keyes on climate change predictions, home ownership, and even past tweets. Trust me, you don't want to miss this breakdown. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now let's get into it. Senator Kennedy kicked things off by questioning Dr. Keyes about climate change predictions. Kennedy asked if these predictions are based on climate models, implying that if the models are flawed, so are the predictions. Dr. Keyes clarified that his research is focused on housing, mortgage, and insurance markets, not climate science. But Kennedy kept pushing, suggesting that reliance on these models could lead to inaccurate assumptions about the future of the housing market. Kennedy then shifted the conversation to methanol emissions, citing a recent study that suggests there's 25% more methanol in the atmosphere than previously believed. This could mean that climate models need to be recalibrated to account for its cooling effect. Dr. Keyes didn't refute Kennedy's claims but reminded him that he was there to discuss the insurance crisis, not climate science. Things got even more intense when Kennedy brought up an article Dr. Keyes wrote for the New York Times. In the article, Keyes suggested that climate change should make people rethink homeownership. Kennedy then asked if Dr. Keyes had sold his own home, especially since he lives in a flood zone. Keyes responded that he still lives in his house, prompting Kennedy to accuse him of hypocrisy.
Dr. Keyes, Professor Keyes, are you clairvoyant?
Thanks for the question, Senator. No, I'm not.
I'm not either. So when you make predictions, these are my words, not yours. When you make predictions that climate change is going to destroy home ownership and the insurance market and otherwise cause the earth to spin off its axis. Those predictions are made on the basis of climate models, is that right?
The forward-looking forecasts are based on models. My discussion was retrospective and focused on the data we've collected over the last 5 years.
If those models are wrong, then your predictions would be impacted, wouldn't they?
Senator, I would say that the famous quote is that all models are wrong, but some are useful. And in this case, there's a preponderance of evidence that suggests the direction that climate's headed.
Methanethiol?
I'm not aware of that term, Senator.
I'm surprised. I've read a lot of your writings. You seem to fancy yourself as a climate expert.
Senator, I'm an expert on housing markets, mortgage markets, and insurance markets. I'm not a climate scientist.
If I told you that methanethiol is a sulfur-based aerosol gas, kind of smells like rotten cabbage, that is produced by microscopic plankton in all of our oceans, which cover 75% of the Earth's surface. Would you have reason to disagree with me?
I certainly wouldn't, Senator. I'm here to talk about insurance.
If I told you that this methanethanol is an aerosol which escapes into our environment. It oxidizes and produces particles that substantially reflect the sun's radiation and heat and prevents climate change. Would you have a reason to disagree with me?
I wouldn't, Senator. I'm here to talk about the insurance crisis.
I know you don't want to talk about things that undermine your confident assertions, but this is important. The Institute of Marine Sciences and the Cabrera Institute of Physical Chemistry just a few days ago published a startling study. It's being widely reported. And it found that while scientists and these climate change models on which you rely have always known about methanethiol, that now science has discovered ways to better measure it, and that it demonstrates that there's 25% more methanethiol being released into our atmosphere than any scientist ever thought. And that's going to have a huge impact on cooling the earth, and we're going to have to recalibrate all of our climate change models. I suggest you read it, Doc. I mean, I see this essay that you wrote in the New York Times, appropriate New York Times. Climate change should make you think homeownership. Did you write that?
Yes, I did, Senator.
It's pretty bold. You own a home?
I do, in a flood zone.
Have you sold it?
Have I sold my home?
Yeah.
I live in my home, sir.
Oh, well, you're telling everybody else to sell theirs. You're a climate extremist, aren't you, Professor?
Certainly not, Senator.
You are a political extremist, aren't you?
Certainly not, Senator.
On July 9th of 2024, did you tweet the following, quote, "Honestly, the biggest long-term political problem the Democrats have is that they don't know how to talk to low-information morons," close quote.
I don't believe those are my words, Senator. I'd have to be able to see them if you would share that with me.
Yeah, here it is, big as Dallas.
I don't believe those are my words, Senator.
You tweeted them.
I don't believe that I did.
Yes, you did.
I may have liked someone else's tweet or retweeted someone else's tweet.
Do you
those
often
are not my words.
Like tweets you don't agree with?
What do you guys think? Drop a comment below. Kennedy then turned up the heat by accusing Dr. Keyes of being a political extremist. Keyes firmly denied the accusation. But Kennedy wasn't done. He pulled up past tweets allegedly posted by Keyes, including one calling certain voters low information and another criticizing aspects of right-wing culture. Keyes denied writing these tweets, suggesting that he may have liked or retweeted someone else's post. But Kennedy wasn't buying it, insisting that Keyes endorsed the statements. As the debate escalated, the committee chair cut Kennedy off for going over his time limit. Kennedy pushed back, arguing that other senators also exceed their limits, but ultimately he was forced to wrap up. The session ended with tension still in the air, leaving many questioning the integrity of climate predictions and the personal biases of those making them. Wow, what a back and forth. This hearing exposed major debates on climate models, scientific accuracy, and even personal accountability. Was Kennedy right to challenge Keyes, or was this just political theater? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.